What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion, and this is the long-awaited belly pan for the M1000RR, the carbon fiber belly pan for it. We've been waiting for this for quite a while now. I think they're available through a few different vendors. The first one is here. The first few batches have arrived. We got more coming on the way as well. And I think this is the missing piece that our M1000RR needed. Ever since we changed our exhaust system, there's a little bit of a void here. You can't see it much when we're filming in here, but when we take it outside and try to take some pretty pictures, this thing ends right here. I think it needs a belly pan. It doesn't look right without it. I think some of you guys agree and some of you guys disagree. Most of you guys who disagree want to see the beautiful pipes, the titanium pipes that are going to blue once we ride this bike a little more. This opening right here will do that just really well. That we'll see the pipes. I already test fitted it on there just to see how it looks because I couldn't wait until we got behind the camera to do it. But let me show you how easy it is, and there's a couple other details that I want to touch on the bike. Then once we install it, we'll roll this beautiful bike outside so that we could admire its true beauty under the sun, because everything's going to be almost carbon fiber on it. We got more carbon fiber on the way. But let's talk in more working. Let me show you guys how easy it is to put this on the bike and how much of a drastic difference it'll make on the looks of this beautiful machine. So first things first, before I go ahead on the bike, let me show you guys the bolt that it comes with. It comes with a beautiful T25 bolt that matches the rest of the bolts on the bike, because everything on this bike is Torx. Almost all the bolts are Torx on BMWs. But when you receive a carbon part that has any kind of threaded hole, make sure that you actually work the bolt in and out first before you try to install it, because oftentimes when they're clear coating this with the lacquer gets into the threads, and these being fine thread bolts, it might be a little challenging to get it in straight. So my advice to you is that first, if you have a tap and die set, try to run a tap through it, or just use your bolt. Make sure you're going in straight. Go in and out a few times so that you at least clean the threads, and then when you go on the bike, everything will just fit on there smoothly. This is just an advice on me. I think it's well worth it because that's what I do all the time, but we do hear some horror stories of people stripping these things, and it's just a little info and FYI for you guys. But this is so simple. I'm going to remove this out of here, and then I'm going to remove the two bolts, one on each side, and then this will just go on. Also, we're going to remove a bolt from the bottom that we're replacing with this. I'll show you that as well. So guys, what I did was that I removed this bolt. That's the further back bolt that's under the bike on the belly pan that it has, or whatever you want to call this side lower panel piece. There's also a clip that attaches to the other side, which we remove. That way we could use our new bolt, and the new piece also has a threaded stud in there so that we could use it. And then next is removing these bolts from each side, and then we're ready to install our belly pan. And now pretty much we're ready to install our belly pan on the bike. I think I'll call this a belly pan extension, because I think it's more of an extension of the already belly pan that there is. I'm going to put this bolt here just to hold it up a little bit before I try to put this bolt down here. And earlier I said this is a T25 bolt. I apologize. This actually is a T27 bolt that's supplied. Let's see if I could hand tighten it first. So that's the lower bolt tightened. And now we could tighten the side bolts. Just a quick thing, these bolts over here are on rubber mounts. You could actually pull them back and forward to give it the desired line that you want over here. It lines up pretty good, but if you want to do any fine adjustments with the line, how it looks, you could always push this forward and back a little bit so that it lines up. To me right now, this looks perfect. Let me tighten this side and then I'll jump on the other side. Guys, that's it. That's how easy it is to install this belly pan on the bike. It's not YouTube magic. I think it's probably 2-3 minutes to put it on. Let's say 5 or 10 if you really want to take your time by making sure those bolts that I mentioned are threaded right. But it makes the most dramatic difference on this bike ever for all the parts that we've installed on it. It looks absolutely beautiful. I believe this piece also fits the stock exhaust, so if you just want to cover your stock exhaust. Now that we put our belly pan on, I want to address some of the dress-up pieces that we have so that we continue on with this very easy but dramatic changes on the bike, and then we'll roll this thing out in the sun and admire its true beauty, guys. Guys, let me show you some of these dress-up pieces. You guys have seen this before. We have the TWM steering stem nut that we'll put on the beautiful triple that's on this bike. And we're gonna be using the TWM oil cap, which kind of matches the whole theme that we're going for. And these are available in various colors, guys. There's no right or wrong. You could do it as you wish in terms of the colorway. And then this is already a part that we installed, but we're gonna be changing it because this just came out. So this is your little bracket piece that goes on top of your exhaust bracket on your bike. And TWM made this. We already put a Gillies tooling one on the bike on the last episode. We're replacing with this because I think I like the blue a little more. Again, if you're a dark blue guy or a light blue guy, it really doesn't matter, but I kind of want the blues to be as matching as possible for the oil filler cap and this disc over here. I think we'll call this the exhaust bracket bushing. It's called the form disc by BMW, and TWM calls it the form disc, but we'll call this the exhaust bracket bushing. But this is gonna be very easy. This is gonna be very easy. This is easy, but it requires a torque spec on it. But let's get on the bike, let's put these on, and then let's push this thing out because it looks amazing here. I can't wait to see it outside because I actually haven't seen it under the sun. Cool, let's start with our exhaust bracket bushing, as we call it, or if you want to call it form disc, you could call it form disc. Form disc actually reminds me of UFOs for whatever reason. This is our Gillies tooling piece. The Gillies tooling actually comes with its own bolt, but the TWM one makes use of your stock bolt. And let me show you, this is the piece that's usually in there. This will fit various BMWs, including the S1000RR, M1000RR, and the single R variants, but I think other BMWs also use this. So if you have another BMW, like an R1300 or 1250, you could probably use this as well. I have my stock bolt. We're gonna be replacing all of our bolts with Pro-Tie bolts. Once we do it, I think I'm gonna find the exact bolt for this, so we'll replace it as well. But till then, this just goes in here. It's a straight swap. And there you go, it's on there. They've also included some holes if you want to safety wire this piece onto a part of your rear set, which I think is kind of cool because some of you guys that go on the track ask for stuff like this. I don't think it really needs to be safety wire, but just in case, if you want to add some safety wire, you can. The next piece is our oil filler cap. This is, again, a very, very simple swap. We grab the stock one. We grab the TWM one. It actually has an O-ring inside already. What I'll do is that I'll try to see if I could pick up some oil from the cover here. Run it along the oil filler cap's O-ring, and then all we're going to do is we're just going to tighten this in place. Again, this is also pre-drilled for if you want to run your safety wire, and it's also a T40, so it's the same size as your rear exhaust bracket bushing bolt. And obviously you don't want to go crazy tight, but you just want to make it tight enough. That's done. Let's pull the bike down, put our steering stem nut on there, and then we'll pull this thing out. This actually has thread lock on it, which is a surprise to me. Maybe I'm getting old and I don't remember things, but first time I see that there's thread lock on the steering stem nut. Maybe there was, I don't know, but I'm going to check the manual right now for the torque spec and let's see if it actually calls for thread lock or not. And then we'll go ahead and install this once we have the torque spec. Okay, so I checked the manual. I guess I wasn't crazy, but the manual makes no mention of thread lock on there. And I did take a look at some pictures of previous stuff that we've done. I've never seen thread lock on it. Maybe it's an M1000RR specific thing, but I can't really see it being different. I didn't use apply thread lock, but if you're working on your M1000RR, you might want to ask your dealer. In this case, I'm going to check the torque after I put some miles on it just to make sure that it's not loosening. But for now, I'm just going to torque it to the manufacturer's spec, and then I think we'll be done. There you go, it's on there. And as I predicted, no marring on the triple nut. It looks pretty cool. And don't forget, guys, we're going to be switching our suspension, so we won't have the red and yellow over here. You guys have to wait up for that. But let me pull this thing out because I really want to see it under the sun and get some really pretty pictures of it too. Guys, just look at this thing. These TWM pieces are popping under the sun. So is the carbon fiber and the belly pan. Let me just take a step back to admire its beauty because it really, really finishes off the overall look of this bike. And also, you could see the exhaust under here. You could trust me, once it goes on the dyno, that blew really nice, and I'll put some miles on it too. One detail that I just saw outside, and this is why we pulled the bike outside to take a look at it, is this belly pan extension slides under the lower belly piece over here, and this swoosh here kind of matches the swoosh that we have here, which is really cool. And I think this made a big drastic difference on the bike. And other things that we're going to do that are going to make drastic pieces are our carbon fiber fuel tank, our carbon fiber rear subframe, and our OZ Racing magnesium wheels that are going to go on this bike. So there's a lot of exciting things happening. We've been very, very patient with the whole process because it being a new bike, and there is some production delay still happening. It's not COVID related, but I think it's an industry-wide thing. But I think right now, to me, this looks perfect. It looks amazing. It's missing a few details here and there. We'll address all of that in upcoming episodes. And if you're wondering about the products that we use on this video, it's always in the description below, guys. Check the description. There's some quick links there. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one. Guys, I don't want to disturb the neighbors too much, but there you go, a little bit of sound clip. I know you guys wanted it.